Hey guys, Joe Riggs here from Fundamental. I just want to take a quick second and talk about my speech impediment. I have a stutter. It was really bad as a kid. It's not so bad now because over the years I've developed some tricks and techniques to reduce it by about 80%. So if you have a speech impediment and you're watching this, stick around. I've got some things I want to say to you and might be able to help you. But to the rest of you, do me a favor. If you're going to make jokes about my speech impediment on the channel, please understand that I performed all over the country for many, many years and I've heard it all. So do me a favor and at least come up with something clever, funny, and something I haven't heard 100 times before. If you do that, go for it. To the rest of you, if you're watching this and have a speech impediment, there's a couple things I would like to tell you. First of all, I know it's not easy. When I was a kid, I would not answer phones. I would not answer doors. I was petrified. And when I did have to talk, I had a series of stock phrases and responses that I had practiced that I was comfortable with saying. And I basically was a robot. I was a robot. And when I did have to talk, like around high school, and had to answer questions, and my speech impediment would act up, the ridicule and all that, you've been there, whatever. But I didn't want to let that stop me from doing what I wanted to do. I wanted to become, of all things, a performer and a public speaker, which for a person who's scared to answer the phone is petrifying. And if I can do it, you can do it. And one of the things that really helped me early on is I got into magic. I was a magician. That's how I started. And I got a job at a restaurant and I became the house magician. And this is a form of, in my case, immersion therapy. Because if you don't know what a house magician does, what a restaurant magician does, is you go up to a table of complete strangers, introduce yourself, say your name, which, by the way, my name, Joe Riggs, Joe, is one of the things I struggled with when I was younger. I could not get the J sound out. So introducing myself alone was petrifying. But as a restaurant magician, I would have to walk up to a table, introduce myself, do magic, entertain them, and then stop and start all over again at the next table, rinse and repeat all night long. And at first, yeah, this was hard, very hard. And my speech was a lot worse back then, but I learned a couple things very quickly. One, 9 out of 10 people, if not more, aren't going to make fun of you. I mean, you think that everyone's going to laugh at you, that it's going to be like the movie Carrie, where everyone's pointing and laughing at you and you're covered in blood and everyone's just hysterical. No. Now, there are always going to be people that crack jokes about your speech impediment, about my stutter, but one thing I learned very quickly, and one of the most important things I learned, is the opinion of that person means nothing. The kind of person who would make fun of something you can't help, a handicap, is the worst kind of person imaginable. One of the scum of the earth. Really, if you're going to make fun of handicapped people or people's handicaps, I mean, what does that say about you and your self esteem? And generally, over the years, I've come up with lots of comebacks to handle hecklers that make fun of my speech. I've heard it all, so I've got answers for it all. But I've learned that I rarely need them because most of the time, if a person makes fun of my speech when I'm performing on stage, the people around them will shame them without me having to do anything because most people don't respect that. People don't care about your speech impediment. People actually, you know, are look up to you for doing what you want to do and not letting it stop you, which is exactly what you should do. I know it's hard. I know it can be scary to be made fun of, but and to be self-conscious about how you sound. But I will say this: I have come up with quite a few psychological and physical tips and tricks that have reduced my stutter by about 80%. And if you are interested in knowing what has helped me and what's worked for me, do not hesitate to contact me. I will talk to you, help you. I will share everything I have on this subject with you. So do not hesitate to contact me. I will help you in any way I can. Having said that, another thing I wanted to talk about is you only live once and you're unique and your speech impediment is part of who you are. And sure, having said that, yeah, I didn't want to stutter as bad as I used to, but I still stutter, It's part of who I am. And yeah, I wanted to reduce it. I wanted to get rid of it completely. I didn't. Almost did. Now, I went on to perform all over the country. I've been performing for many years. I've been interviewed on numerous radio stations, local television shows, newspapers, so on. My life and my work and obsession with Sherlock Holmes was written about and profiled in the book The Great Detective by Zach Dundas, which I'll put a link in the description. It's a really interesting book. But if you would have told younger me that I would ever sit in a radio station with headphones on, with a giant microphone in front of me, and speak knowing that my voice is going to be heard by thousands of people in their cars, in their jobs, at their homes, I would have dove under a bed so fast and never come out to this day. But not only do I do that now, I enjoy it. I enjoy what I do. I love getting on stage. I love public speaking. I have no fear whatsoever. And if there's anything you take from this video at all, and maybe you take nothing, but if there is anything you take from this video, it's don't be ruled by the fear. And you're in excellent company. Some of the most successful and coolest people ever have had speech impediment stutters, like Aristotle, Winston Churchill, Rowan Atkinson, Emily Blunt, Hugh Grant, James Earl Jones, Samuel Jackson, Nicole Kidman, Elvis, Lewis Carroll, mathematician Alan Turing, and tons more. I'll put a link in the description to a list of tons of people with speech impediments. So, well, the purpose of this video is to let everyone know that on my channel that yes, I have a speech impediment. It's not as bad as it was, and you will be hearing it in my videos. And if you're gonna make jokes, at least make them clever and original. Also, don't hesitate to contact me. I'll be more than happy to share all the tips, tricks, and techniques that have helped me reduce my speech impediment that might help you, as well as the techniques that help me overcome the fear. So don't hesitate to contact me. I'll help you in any way I can. Thanks for watching the video. I hope everyone's safe. Joe Riggs for Fundamental.